Hey, we're finally here. How are you?
Just having my man.
Hey, this is JP Smith for people that don't know who this big-headed, hairy human is.
Harry.
Well, you're not going bald for a long time. JP Smith is a 8-time All-American from the University of Tennessee, and now he is. How many years you been on the tour?
I've been on the tour now since July 2011.
2011, a tennis pro, and he's one of my closest friends, good buddy of mine. I trained him in high school. We flirt around with some stuff as he's a pro, but most of the time we could just go out to eat and have one hell of a time.
We do. It's great fun, yeah. I love always coming over to the house, coming to the gym, hanging out. It's been awesome.
I appreciate you taking the time because I know you got to go. You're always a jet setter. You always got to get that meal in and, then you got to go. You're
Best deal in Knoxville.
You're whisked away somewhere all the time. But appreciate it. I know it's been a long day. And you're out of town tomorrow?
I'm going to Mexico tomorrow. Yep. Mexico, Monterrey, Mexico.
Oh, my gosh.
I know, it doesn't stop. I was just in Canada last week freezing my tail off, and this week I'll be heading to Mexico for a couple of weeks.
I know you're 30 years old, but where do you get the energy to go like you go?
I think it's just the drive. Like I wake up and I love competition. I think that's the biggest thing that fuels me every day, competing and doing what's necessary to get in the right mindset and the right physical shape to get out there and just give my all. Obviously, I've had a lot of losses, a lot of wins, but, every day you just got to back it up.
I mean, your outlook, we always are like, oh, my God, JP's in, or can't wait to see him, because your outlook and your attitude is always so high. And how is that? Like, you're in a one-on-one sport that it's like, I played well, but I didn't win, but I played well, but I didn't win. That's all we ever hear on the tennis circuit of like, we're like X's and O's. For people who don't know, we got Josh Dobbs in here too. He got booted. We were going to do a 3-microphone deal, but our program director said, we don't have time to set it up because she's hungry and needs a drink.
He's pretty devastated about it as well. He really wanted to be in on this.
Yeah, no, so I got to do him solo by himself Friday. Yeah, well, that's a big, well, I'm looking at a $1,500 microphone that's not being used right now.
We gave it 5 minutes notice, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been perfect. Yeah. The three of, 2 UT guys, big time studs at the University of Tennessee. So.
Yeah, I love watching Dobbsy play at UT, so it would have been awesome to have him on.
Next time, I guess. Next time, Dobbs. I'm sorry. It can't happen today. So I'm going to do him Friday and talk about his journey. The one question I always like to open up with you elite athletes and even CEOs that are special. When did you know that you were different? When did you know playing your sport that you were kind of different? And I've talked to a lot of different people, and the best of the best, it's kind of a hard question. And then some guys know, and I have a guest that's coming on. I don't want to say who and when, but he knew at 13 when he did something, let's say Robert Redford, like in a ballpark.
Well, you got some big guests coming on here, Charles, I'll tell you that much. Thanks for having me on now before the show blows up, you know?
Right. Yeah, I know it. I just, I don't know. I've asked that with Harrison Smith, the Viking safety he's been on, and it was a gray question. Even working with him from 8th grade on, I was like, okay, he's a kid in 8th grade that's running around. Just because somebody's dominating, a peewee football game in 8th grade doesn't mean they're like different. They're probably the fastest kid on the team. They're not defense, offense. I'm sure Dobbs never came off the field at that age. And, was he special at that age? I'm going to ask him the same question Friday. So Dobbs, you could get used to that question. It's a cool question because you really, some people like I knew right here, like you were, first of all, let's back it up. You're an 8-time All-American. Okay. For listeners out there and viewers and everybody else, nobody could ever answer how you're an 8-time All-American unless you play tennis. Thanks, program director.
Exactly.
That couldn't get the third microphone going. This is Bush League. I mean, I thought I had 5-star reviews. Dobbs, didn't you say I had 5-star reviews? Yeah, it's
enough for the producer though.
Yeah, well, the producer just got an Uber check of angry, uncustomer satisfaction. Right?
What's the electricity go here in a say?
Yeah, she's lucky we're here.
Yes, you are.
Yes, thank you so much, program director. When did you know? 8-time All-American, let me back it up. Let me give you some more information, because I know you pretty well from being with you so long. As you come from teachers.
Yes.
So out of high school, a lot of guys turn pro. You decided not to. Education was a big thing for you.
Correct.
You wanted to finish 4 years of your college, get the degree, move on. That's a whole other question. Do you think that retarded your growth some, where all the European guys come out, they're prodigies, they're homeschooled, they're turning pro at 16, or, tons more than that. Do you think that held you back, or do you think maybe that's the reason you have the energy at 30? You're like, dude, I'm just 30. I've just been out there 6 years or so, right?
Exactly. Well, growing up, my first sport actually wasn't even tennis. I swam from the age 6 to 12, and it was, I think, the swimming that kind of helped me propel me into tennis, mainly because of the fact that I didn't really enjoy swimming towards the end, which is why I stopped when I was 12. And when I started playing tennis full on, it's when I really knew this is what I really enjoyed, this is what I really liked, and I could focus all my attention into developing as a tennis player, because it's obviously not easy when you stop a sport, because you kind of miss those feelings. But I was really kind of mentally tired with swimming, and I still love to swim now, for workouts and pool recoveries, but playing tennis after that, that's kind of what my passion was. So I'd say when I was about 13, that's when I really knew that I wanted to put all my attention towards it.
But did you know to put your attention towards it because you were dominating at that level? Or did you go, I like swimming, but my passion is tennis? Because you work with a lot of athletes, and I worked with a lot in 28 years, that the sport that they really love isn't the one that's going to make them the money. So they switch over and go, okay, let me adopt a new love.
True. I think I just knew that this is the sport I really wanted to play. And it had that, that solitary aspect to it, which I really enjoy. Like, I really love competing one-on-one, that mono sort of situation. And that's what I think kind of really, drove me to, giving it my all. Obviously as a kid, you make a lot of sacrifices. My parents made huge sacrifices, spending their weekends driving me to tournaments, training, practices, early mornings, late nights, balancing all that. Obviously, they were teachers as well, so they had to juggle that with all their work. So looking back on it now, I'm very thankful for all the sacrifice they made, and, just one of those things where, very grateful to have the opportunity. And I've been lucky enough to stay injury-free where I can play as much as I can. Obviously I get niggles here and there, but knock on wood, that continue to look after my body just as much as I do now. And and as we touched base on, again, as you said, people are playing longer now. I think with every sport, everyone's playing longer, and I think strength stuff, technology, diet, everything, sleep, everything plays its part now. And I think sport is going to keep getting progressively older for every every athlete.
Did you do any team sports, or was it always the one-on-ones, the mano, as you say?
It was just playing tennis. Swimming, we swim in teams, obviously relays and stuff, but it wasn't, a natural team sport, I'd say.
I mean, were you as good a swimmer as you were a tennis player?
I was good in my region. I didn't really test the waters outside the state. Obviously, Queensland is a big state,
right.
But no, when I started playing tennis, that's when I kind of excelled.
So when you were 13, you were like, I'm switching, and I got to go full-time into tennis.
Well, it was seasonal, so I was doing swimming and tennis.
Okay.
It's when I dropped swimming and went full-time tennis is when I started to really see the results.
All right, so then take me through that process. Like, you were in junior high, were you dominating tennis? Were you the kid, the person?
I was definitely, as you say, a prodigy. I was number one in Queensland, and I was in the top three in Australia as well. So a lot of those guys, as you mentioned before, a lot of them stopped school. A lot of them basically put all their eggs in one basket. Having a background with parents, I knew I had to get an education. They pressed for it. I actually wanted it as well as a backup plan. So finished my high school diploma, and then had the opportunity, to get recruited. I was a top 5 junior in the world as well. So before finishing,
I didn't know that.
I was pretty highly recruited by a lot of the schools over here in the States.
But again, JP, when you came out of high school, could you have made that transition of going, hey, I want to go pro? And what I mean by that is, like, what does that look like to going off to school? Because once you sign, with the university or college, okay, hey, I go report here, we go through orientation, I take a visit, and then we start classes, and I got my classes, and I got my practice, I got my workouts, I got my food. It's all structured under the university. If you said, hey, at a high school, I want to go pro, you have to find like a coach, you have to find a strength and conditioning coach, you have to find a nutritionist,
Exactly.
a manager. So it's like forming a team. So therefore, I guess I work with some PGA golfers also, and they have to get like sponsorships and people investing in them.
Absolutely, it's a whole process. All that you just mentioned. And that's another reason why I didn't want to do it as well, because I don't think if I went pro out of high school, I would still be playing today. Not only that, because of the travel, as you said, find the right team, playing the right tournaments. Because when you start out of high school, you're basically at the lowest ring of tennis. So you're playing from no ranking, trying to build your ranking up. Coming to college, obviously, as you said, strength coaches, school, you have everything kind of structured. You travel as a team, you play as a team, you get that aspect as a team, meet great people, and you get that college degree, which I think is massive now. I think a lot of people now are suddenly realizing that college can be the right route to playing on the professional level.
Because you probably think, because back in the 80s, it wasn't like that at all. I mean, McEnroe and all those guys never saw college, and they were...
Well, McEnroe actually did. He did 1 semester at Stanford.
He did.
Yeah.
But then they were done earlier, like you were talking about recovery, training, nutrition, everybody's playing longer.
Yeah.
So now they don't think college is that bad, right?
Exactly. People realize how hard it is on the tour, traveling by yourself, week in, week out, going to these places where you're not, where you have to eat, look out for yourself. Dangerous places, you have to eat properly. A lot of these things, people don't realize how tough it is mentally.
So you could use college as like a training ground.
Absolutely.
Like the minor leagues before, get acclimated to growing up, right? I mean, it seems so different. It's so bizarre.
It's great. And the great thing about the University of Tennessee, I can train here, I can practice here, I live in Knoxville, it's my base, and I really love being around here, with great energy. We have a great atmosphere as well. As you said, just come out of the house, chilling, getting the right support of people, in your close group.
Right.
And
picking your circle.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what I love about it. Everyone's positive, everyone builds each other up. It's a sort of positive reinforcement that you need.
Right.
I think even without sport as well, even if you're not playing sport, you kind of need that pickup all the time.
And a full year, what are the months that are off on the tour?
Tennis season's one of the longest seasons in professional sport. You get basically the end of November and December off, and then boom, straight back into the Australian Open series down under.
And you actually, I know we talk about this every year, and I'm always so blown away of how you go home and how that flight is absolutely amazing.
I know you couldn't last that far.
There's no way, man. I can't, it's hard to go to Miami. I just got back from there, and I was like, how long is this flight? I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's essentially 2 days to get home. I've done it multiple times from Knoxville. You've got to go from Knoxville, Dallas, LA, Brisbane, Townsville for me. So that's how many flights I've got to knock out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing.
I know Dobbs doesn't want to do it now.
No, well, Dobbs is a cruise guy. When he goes on those cruises, I'm like, who does that? So I got 2 guys in here. That'd be a good talk. If I only had a third microphone, that'd be a great talk of how bad I hate cruises and flying. So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, cruises, that's another thing I've...
Dude, he loves cruises. It's amazing.
I get a little seasick, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. No, there's no way I could do that. All right, so now you're prepping. You're at the beginning of 2019, right? So do you do like all the other athletes? Again, I asked all of them, the Harrisons, the Heltons, the Penningtons, the goals. Like, do you put goals down? Do you go, okay, this is what I accomplish? Or 2019, we're more massaged of let's enjoy the process. Let's keep the energy up. Where it falls. Or do you have goals? Like, even in my business, I have goals. I write them down and look at them each year and go, okay, I want to get this done. I maybe want to train this guy. It's not always the money. I don't think about the money as much, never have, of like, I got to get this better. I got to get that guy. I got to see if I can recruit this guy, see if he wants to train. How do you put your goals down as a tennis player 7 years on the tour?
Yeah, I would say every year I've had different goals. A lot of my goals this year so far have been process goals. Making sure I get all the work and making sure I take care of my body. Not so much result-oriented goals, just because I feel like if you're doing the right stuff, on and off the court, that the results are going to happen. And this off-season in Australia, I did, one of my biggest goals was to get on court more in the heat. Obviously, Australian summer, it's very tough. The conditions, I'd say, are some of the toughest in the world. You get 105-degree days, 80% humidity. it's tough to really back up sessions. And that's why I really pushed my body this off season and, had a great result at the Australian Open. We made the mixed doubles final there. So it was my first Grand Slam mixed doubles. Making the final there.
Congratulations. Have I seen you since then or no?
No, I haven't seen me. I haven't seen me since November. It's crazy.
Wow, it seems like you were just here.
Time flies, I'm telling you.
Soccer taco or at the house, doing crazy
stuff.
We
met in 2008, and that's 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
No,
I can't believe it at all.
It flies by.
Yeah.
So the as I call it, the one-on-one, but it's singles to doubles, and your claim to fame is he's one hell of a doubles player, and I've always challenged you with this off camera, off mic, of like, how do we get you to the singles level? What is the difference? What makeup is that? Because we talk about everybody through the Woodgym. The purpose of the podcast were type A personalities. Why is everybody a go-getter? Why is everybody a winner? Why is everybody pushing? Why is everybody, the number one thing that Dobbs and I were talking about today at lunch, consistent? All the champions are consistent. All the winners are consistent. How do you get, because I always challenge you with that. How do you cross over from the doubles to, okay, I'm 30. Like you said, you could probably play to 40 now. I was watching Fed a couple of days ago.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. What he's doing now in tennis at that age, it's unheard of.
And what I don't get with the big boys like that, their bodies look the same. So how do you get to that next level? Because mixed doubles champion, okay, how do we get you?
You touched on it, consistency. For me, it's always been tough backing up the singles wins, win after win after win. Because with tennis, it's not. Take football, for example. You win 1 week, and you got that rest time off where you can kind of reset, prepare for the next opponent. Tennis is you play one day, then boom, you're back at it the next day. Got to win those 5 matches to win the tournament. In doubles, I've really thrived with that, mainly because I think, naturally I'm a pretty good doubles player. I take a lot of space up. I'm tall. I serve well, return well. Assets in my game that really translate over well to doubles. For singles, I struggle kind of, back, as I said, backing up win after win in singles. My career high has been 108 in singles. I've played for top 100 4 times. So I've been right there. And it's just right now, I think I'm in a great place right now. I'd say I'm probably stronger than I was even when I started on the tour when I was 22.
So do you feel the pressure like, okay, hey, I'm 30, I got to get going. Do you feel that pressure? You don't seem like much of a pressure guy. You seem more of like a fly by the seat of your pants guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have fun. It's like, oh, JP's fun. We're going to have fun tonight. We're going to go out and have a good time at dinner, go back home, chill out, whatever.
Yeah.
You always have that fun. The next thing I wanted to talk about was, I talk about Harrison with watching film, and when Dobbs lives with me, they got their iPads. They're always watching film. They're always looking at stuff. Do you look at your next opponent and on the one-on-one game sports, as tennis, do you go, okay, I got this guy coming up after you win like your first match?
Film is so critical.
So you do watch film. You analyze your next opponent like a boxer does.
A lot of film. I only really started getting into it a couple of years ago that I knew the importance of it.
Really?
Because it's critical. Obviously getting older, getting more in tune with the sport, you kind of pick up things. And that was probably one of the biggest things is watching film. Watching what you do as well, habits, technique, a lot of this sort of stuff that, you wouldn't see otherwise unless you watched it.
Do you think the big boys watch film like you think a Federer or Nadal are looking at film, or they pretty much know everybody?
Everyone's looking at film. It doesn't matter who you are. I can tell every athlete's looking at film, even the athletes I speak to.
Is it set up like in the NFL where, they have it at the facility, they pass out the iPads? How do you guys, you go to the center, the training, wherever the host of the tournament is, and they got film room set up?
Yeah, basically you just get your match on a USB, they hand it to you, and then you can kind of just go over it like that.
Okay, so they hand you over a match to watch your opponent. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Well, watch your match, and you can get access to your opponents as well. So
got it. And who's in your corner when you travel? Do you have a group of people that are coming your way? Like, coach?
So I travel with Jacob Meyer. You've met a couple of times. Mm-hmm. He's come into the gym here. And, coming back here, I have Chris Woodruff, the University of Tennessee, who I really respect. And, it's great insight, great value. And, just one of those really solid guys that you want to have, supporting you. Obviously, I love chatting with you, Chaz. I'm just hearing, like, stories, experiences, just really refreshing, I'd say. And it's just sort of that really good vibe, as I touched on before, energy as well, that, you surround yourself with the right people. I have another great guy, Ben Rogers, who I love just being around. I'd say he's a great mentor as well.
I love Benny. We trained him in high school and college.
Absolutely.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
So but I know he meets you for the big tournaments, and hits with you or whatever, but your guy is basically Jacob. And what I'm saying is, do you fly solo a lot? Like, hey, I got to find where to eat tonight. I got to find where, because when I worked with some of the pro motocross guys, I took on that manager, trainer, life coach for the 16 to 17, 18-year-old guys. So the parents would pay me to go travel with them from Thursday to Sunday. So it was my job to find a gym to train out of, where we're going to eat, how we're going to eat, make sure they go to bed on time, make sure we wake up in time, train in time, get to the track. So I prepped everything, prepped all their meals. Is it anything like that?
Tennis is very individual as well. So you don't you have obviously some close friends on tour that the guys I play doubles with, I'm very close with. A lot of the Australian guys I'm very close with. So we'll try and, if schedules permit, we'll try and, eat together, hang out together. But, as I said, it's pretty individual. So you kind of spend a lot of your time by yourself, analysing, recovering, practicing, training. So the daily grind. So
a lot of alone time.
Exactly.
And you're okay with that?
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I've kind of gotten used to it over the years. It's part of the job. But with that being said, obviously I like speak to my family on the phone. Close relatives. You know what I mean? The people who like to run ideas by. Game plans by as well. Mm-hmm. So Jacob as well. I like to speak to a lot as well. Ben, even you, just
Sure.
to give my mind for the game. Hear what's happening.
And when you go somewhere for like a week or 2 weeks, do you train at the center? Do they have a weight room set up with all the stuff to train?
No, you've got to kind of find it yourself a lot of the time.
It yourself.
Exactly.
Like you got to go find a gym, pay $25 or whatever.
Yeah, go and get your work. Make sure you get your work in. Get on the court. Get all your stuff you need, your reps and everything like that. You've got to. That's why it's very. You got to take a lot of responsibility for yourself, because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to you. It's not. You don't have a team there pushing you from behind or a coach grabbing you by the ear and taking you to the gym or taking you to eat. If you want to put the right fuel in your body, you've got to do it yourself.
And how tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
6'2", body weight?
183.
And is that are those numbers, you look at Dobbs, 6'3", 212, prototype style quarterback, flexing his muscles, doing his deal. Yeah. Is that good for you?
Well, when I started college, I was 6'1" and 160 pounds. So college was a great platform for me to add weight in my body, kind of grow into my body a lot. And, it kind of helped because, I reached number one in singles, number one in doubles. I was the second person ever in college tennis history to get 8-time All-American. So I'm the last one right now. So college for me was one of those, like I needed it. I wouldn't be able to describe it. I needed it.
I mean, weren't you... didn't you beat out Cam Newton for SEC Player of the Year?
SEC Athlete of the Year, yes, 2011. I did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was great.
That's big time.
And just managing everything, school, community service. I did a lot of that at UT.
Have you found that high again? I mean, you're coming off an 8-time All-American. Like, where does that high go? Did you feel it when you were mixed doubles champ at the Australian Open? Was it anything like that? What would be...
Just to clarify, runner-up. At the Australian Open.
Okay, runner-up.
Just in case.
Okay, so the parallel of eight-time All-American. How do you? I mean, once you've gone to Mars, what do you do?
Well, I have a lot of tennis goals left. I want to hit as well. So, it was great. Obviously, getting that done right after college. But there's so many more things I want to accomplish in tennis, and athletically as well. I want to get better at so many more things in my game I need to, fine tune as well. So there's always work to be done. And I haven't really touched on much of it. I don't really settle. I like to keep moving forward.
I'll probably ask you a corny, sappy question, but your flight home, after the year rounds down, and the sun's going down, do you ever sit in the plane and go, okay, what's next? Did I have a good enough year to keep going? Because you always seem so up. Your attitude is always so bubbly. It's like, how does he do that without, man, I nailed this tournament, I got this tournament? Or do you see those progressions that a normal person wouldn't see that's not in the tennis game of like, you're making steps forward. You're still moving forward. You're still falling forward. You're still progressing. People have to progress to make happy. I was telling an athlete, it's like losing weight, whether it's 2 pounds or 5 pounds, that makes you happy. Not the goal, but it makes you happy and it makes you move forward.
It's amazing. It's great that you actually said that, because when I actually do fly back, and I remember I was hanging out with Ben, Chase.
Who's Chase?
Chase Thomas.
Chase Thomas.
We're at your house. Remember when we were chilling out there?
Oh,
on the
yeah.
porch, we're hanging out. Everyone came over. We had the hoodies up.
The local tennis pro. Yeah.
We had the hoodies
that was
up.
here in Knoxville. The hoodies up. Yeah.
The hoodies up.
Chase.
That was the last time. Then I went home after that. So, it's great. It's one of those things where you get on the plane, you kind of think of the year. There's a lot of what ifs in tennis. You know,
Right.
Tennis is so close. A single point can change the outcome of a match, just like any other football match. A single call can change the match, and a lot of what ifs. And when you get to that off season, it's you need the recovery, but you're also so ready to go out there and keep working. Like you just want to keep working and working, so you reach these. Those weaknesses become strengths. And that's how I feel when I'm on that 2-day flight back. I'm antsy to get out. I'm one of those people. It's hard to sit still and kind of relax. I want to be doing stuff. I want to making sure that I'm doing everything I can to get the most out of myself.
Do you journal? I mean, like write down your thoughts and your overall synopsis or review for the year. Like again, you have that flight home. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a huge reflection flight. I would call that as being a trainer, and I was with an athlete and we were journeying home if we lived in the same town in Australia, of going, okay, let's go over the year. Let's see, what we did well, what we didn't do well, what we could improve on. Do you write it all down, then look at it, and those are the things that you build? Do you build a plan for the next year, or do you just review what you did the year before? That's
exactly what we do. So Jacob and I, we love just kind of going over stuff, like highs and lows, same thing, losses, wins, what we did well here, where I played my best tennis. Is it hot conditions? Is it cold? Is it indoors? Is it on the clay? Is it on the hard court, the grass? So many services you have to get used to, conditions. Every week's a different condition, different balls, different stringers, different food. So you really want to kind of find the right places where you play well, what you do well, and make it a routine. Like, so you want to play those events every year. You want to leave that event out of your calendar. You need to do more training weeks. You need to get stronger here. You don't hit enough serves the weeks leading up to tournaments. You don't, everything. You're not stretching enough. You're not doing enough prehab for your shoulder, your knees. So, yeah, you kind of look at those periods where, you were injured, where you're playing well, where you had your best results, where you were mentally. For example, I'm going on the road now for, 4.5 weeks. Looking at the end of the trip, was it too much? Could I go one more week? You're kind of assessing. It's a lot of assessing going on back and forth. So,
all right, I got to ask you a question.
What's this one?
No, it's a pretty good question. It's not bad. All right, my timer now is saying 35 minutes. But what time's Cassie's close? Do you want Cassie's tonight, Josh? Hello. I know he was wanting Do we need to close that door? It's the first time we haven't closed the door.
Nobody's here.
No noise.
She's on edge tonight.
Apart from the phone ringing, no noise.
Yeah, no noise. The local tournament here in Knoxville, what's that called? The Knoxville
Challenger.
The Knoxville Challenger.
Yep.
And, I've been watching you play that every year, and it's always like, come on, man, let's win it.
Yeah.
Is that really a stupid statement to say, like, let's win it? Because, like, you just broke down, like, this is a game changer. A game of inches, as Dobbs would know, that also it, like, changes the momentum of the whole game. So is it the same way of, like, I just can't say I want to win it and blow through these people because I'm much more talented than the second guy in here? Is it like that, or is it the pressure of coming home to Knoxville, playing up at the University of Tennessee in the Good Friends Center? Is that kind of like, I don't have a shot. I'm 210s. I got home crowd. Everybody's coming to watch. Charlie's going to yell at me again. Probably bring some people to heckle.
Drink some wine. Bring Cody.
Cody's going to heckle him while he's playing, and
I mean, I'd love to win the Knoxville Challenge. I've won it in doubles, but as a tennis player, there's going to be one winner at the end of the week, and 32 guys. You're both giving your best you can. You're not going to win every week. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you're always, I remember Todd Helton when he was in the majors, and the minor league guys get called up, and, they get mad because they struck out. And the first thing he always says, get ready. You're going to strike out more than you're going to hit. So get used to that. Yeah.
So you don't go into a tournament going, I'm going to win this. Like somebody's going to go into a football game on Sundays. Dobbs is going, we're going to win. We looked at what we're doing. We're prepared. We're better than this team. on special teams, on offense, defense. I mean, we're going in to win. It's not like, oh, we might take a loss. I mean, Dobbs, you ever say I might take a loss? No. So it's different on a Sunday. We're going in to win. Your mindset.
My mindset, you're going to
I'm not
win
saying
as well.
it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like I'm going to go in and win.
No, every match you want to win. Like, you see me before the match, like, I'm pretty locked in.
I mean, but do you look at the players? Because you know a lot of the guys
Yeah.
out there on the tour, like, I could beat him, I could kick his ass, I could beat him, I could kick his ass, or, oh, wow, I can't win. You know, there's
It's never anything like that. No, I never walked in a match and be like, oh, this guy's got me beat here.
So everybody's pretty equal.
Everyone's very equal.
Up into the level of, like, the Feds again. You know, it's like, okay, well, I mean, there's people that get upset because they're not playing well.
Well, if you look at the rankings, so some of the guys I've beaten who, you know, Alexander Zverev, he's currently number 3 in the world. I've beaten him before the Australian Open a couple of years ago. Nick Kyrgios, he's a former top 20 player who I've beaten before. Alexander Rublev, another top 30 player I've beaten before. Kachanov, a former top 20 player I've beaten before. I think he's maybe 11 right now, Kachanov. So a lot of these guys I've beaten who are obviously at the peak of the game, or actually at the top of the game. But as I said, it's the consistency of winning, match after match after match after match, where you get all the points to make your ranking jump.
And would you say luck's involved? Oh my gosh, he had a lucky call, or he was just playing,
There's always
off the charts.
Yeah, exactly. Depends how your opponent plays. There's a lot of net chords, as you said, calls, a lot of sort of stuff like that as well. Goes into a part as well.
Okay. I got one more question, and we'll wrap it up, and I'll take everybody out to eat, okay? Because we got some angry customers over here on the side right there. One's pouting, one's telling us to tap it out, and not the good tap out. You know what I'm saying? Just a tap out. Okay. So what's a yearly annual cost to be on the tour? I've always wanted to know that, and I don't know if I've ever asked you that. All the lunches and all the dinners and all the hangouts at the house,
Yeah.
I never go... What's it cost for a year to be on the tour?
Yeah, it's definitely for me. During all the years I've been on the tour, it's about close to 80 to 100,000. Some years have been more because I've played a lot more, and I've travelled a lot more with my coach as well. So you're paying his expenses, his airfares, his flights. So it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Flights. Yeah. You got to pay for the coach's flights.
Absolutely,
everything,
food,
right?
everything,
per diems, all that type of jazz.
Yeah.
So 80 to 100,000.
100,000. Yeah.
And you paid it. Do you have to pay like for the events to get into, or you're just in the event?
No, so you pay an annual fee for it's called the ATP. That's basically the registration fee.
Okay, so
and that covers the fee. So it's a pretty hefty fee as well. You got to pay as well.
It's a hefty fee, but it gets you in all the tournaments if you qualify or whatever.
Yeah, and then you pay.
Did you know that? Oh,
yeah.
well.
And then you pay your international insurance as well.
Really?
The international insurance secures you as well, because you're not just traveling to America. You're traveling Asia, Australia, Europe.
Got it.
So you got to make sure you get hit by a car, run over,
anything.
Exactly. You got to prepare for the worst. A lot of stuff goes into it. So
well, I think I got a lot of questions answered tonight. And I really do appreciate you taking the time.
No, thanks. I've been listening to podcasts. I'm actually glad I could jump on one here.
Just 5-star me, like an Uber driver.
There's people who always ask for a 5-star Uber. I give them 2.
Dude, I didn't even know about 5 stars until Dobbs just told me a minute ago. Now I'm like, you guys are going to have to open up the doors for me at the restaurant. It's going to be, come on, guys.
You're going to tell everyone who walks to this gym to 5-star.
They don't want their autographs from Dobbs. It's going to be me. I'm a 5-star podcast with 9 of them. Okay.
Tell everyone to listen to your first one, huh?
Yeah. Listen to my first one. JP, I appreciate it, man. I love you. I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate it. Thank you.